Hello everyone, welcome to PS Edu World. In this video, I will be discussing physical and chemical changes. So let's get started. So what is a change? Change is a universal phenomenon. Every day we come across many changes in our surroundings, like changing of day and night, freezing of water, rusting of iron, ripening of fruits, etc. After any change, there is some difference in the characteristics of the object undergoing the change. Let us try to understand with the help of some examples. For example, a raw mango is green in color, but it turns yellow on ripening. Thus, when a fruit ripens, its color changes. A sapling is very small in size, but it becomes larger with time as it grows into a plant. That is, its shape and size change. Water freezes to form ice. Thus, a substance can change its state when a change occurs. The earth revolves round the sun means the position of the earth with respect to sun changes continuously with time. Thus, from these examples, it is clear that when changes take place, the substances change their color, shape, size, etc. Broadly, the changes are of two kinds: physical changes and chemical changes. Almost all changes taking place in matter may be classified as physical change or chemical change. I will come to this later on. There are different types of changes. Let us study them in detail. Natural changes. What are natural changes? Some of the changes take place in nature by itself and they are never ending. Such changes are called natural changes. Example: change of day and night, change of seasons, blooming of flowers, growth of all living organisms, etc. Man-made changes: any change that occurs due to the effort of human beings or due to human intervention is called man-made change. For example, bridge being built across a river, formation of steel from raw iron, etc. Periodic changes. Changes that are repeated at regular intervals of time are called periodic changes. All these changes occur after a fixed time period when they are bound to take place. Examples: change of day and night, change of seasons, movement of clock pendulum which happens at regular intervals. So, these are all examples of periodic changes. Then comes non-periodic changes. Changes that are not repeated at regular intervals and occur irregularly are called non-periodic changes. We cannot predict when that change will take place. For example, we cannot predict when a volcano is going to erupt, or an epidemic, a sudden shower of rain, thunder, lightning. These are all examples of non-periodic changes. Slow changes. The changes that take longer time to complete are called slow changes. These changes may take hours, days, months, or even years to occur. Some common examples are a baby growing into adult, evaporation of water from a lake, then germination of seeds, then rusting of iron. These are all examples of slow change. And what is meant by fast change? Change that takes place in few seconds, like occurrence of lightning, then matchstick immediately catches fire. So, these changes occur at a very fast pace in few seconds. Desirable changes. Changes that are useful to mankind are said to be desirable changes. For example, when cooking gas burns, it produces heat to cook our food. Similarly, milk turning into curd is a desirable change. Undesirable change. Any change that brings about destruction is an undesirable change. floods, epidemics are undesirable changes. Rotting of roots is an example of undesirable change. Reversible change. When a change in a substance can be reversed by changing the conditions, it is said to be a reversible change. For example, water converting into steam and steam reversing into water on cooling is an example of reversible change. Then glowing of an electric bulb, stretching of a rubber band, melting of wax, vaporization of water, these are all examples of reversible change. Now, irreversible change. If a substance cannot be brought back to its original state after a change, it is said to be an irreversible change. On burning a piece of paper changes to ash, it is an irreversible change because paper cannot be obtained back from ash. Then if we have made puri from dough, we cannot get back dough from puri. Then ripening of fruits, then rusting of iron, cooking of food, these are all examples of irreversible change. Properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are called its physical properties. A physical change is a temporary change in which no new substance is formed and the chemical composition of the original substance remains the same. Even though some of its physical properties like color, state, shape, size may change, it is generally reversible. Let us take a sheet of paper and crumple it. The original shape of the paper changes because you have changed the body of the substance without changing the composition. Because you have only changed the appearance but not the composition of the paper. So, this is an example of physical change. Now, take a carrot and cut it into pieces. What do you observe? The shape and size of the carrot has changed. Now observe the color of the carrot pieces and taste one of them. Do you find any difference between the color or taste of the whole carrot and its pieces? No, there is no difference in the color or taste. This means that the properties of carrot are present in its pieces too, although the shape and size have changed. Therefore, it is a physical change. Conversion of states of matter is a physical change. You have observed that ice, when taken out of a refrigerator, melts and changes into water. If this water is put back in the refrigerator, it freezes into ice again. This means that the properties of water and ice are the same. The formula of water is H2O, the formula of ice is also H2O. There is no change in chemical composition. So, on melting or freezing, no new substance is formed, only the state of the substance changes. Similarly, when water is boiled, it changes into steam. On cooling, the steam again changes back into water. Again, there is no formation of any new substance, only the physical state of the substance changes. Thus, on removing the cause of change, the substance returns to its original state. Here are some important terms related to this change. Melting. Melting means conversion of solid into liquid on heating. So, if you heat ice, it will melt into water. Vaporization. Vaporization is conversion of liquid into vapor. Condensation is conversion of vapor into liquid, and freezing, it is conversion of liquid into solid, like from ice from water. Let us understand this with the help of an experiment. Take a glass of water, Put some salt into water and stir it. The salt dissolves and makes the water salty. There is no change in the appearance of the water. This shows that the salt retains its properties and composition, and it indicates that on mixing salt with water, no new substance is formed. Dissolution of salt in water is a physical change. Now, if you heat the solution, the water will evaporate, leaving behind the salt. So, this is an example of physical change. Similarly, preparation of sugar solution is a physical change, as sugar can be easily recovered from its solution by the process of crystallization. Now take a look at this experiment. This is very important. Some solid ammonium chloride is taken in a test tube and heated gently. We will observe that the solid changes into vapors when the vapor touches the upper cooler part of the test tube. It changes back into solid ammonium chloride. You can see in the picture, this shows that no new substance is formed. Only the state changes directly from solid to gas, but when the vapor is cooled, it again changes into the original substance. This means that the change is temporary and reversible. The process of changing a solid directly into a gas on heating and vice versa without passing through a liquid state is called sublimation. The solid substance formed after cooling of vapors is called sublimate. Some other substances which can sublime are camphor, iodine, naphthalene balls, dry ice, which is also known as solid carbon dioxide, etc. Here are some few examples of physical change: boiling of water, drying of clothes, melting of ice cream, then beating of metal, glowing of bulb, cutting of fruits, chopping wood, shredding paper, mixing green and red marbles, dissolving sugar in water. I have said this before. So, what are the characteristics of a physical change? In all these cases, no new substance is formed. There is no change in the composition of the substance. The properties of the substance remain same. The change is temporary and can be reversed by changing the conditions. There may be changes in the state, size, shape, color, smell of substances during physical change. There may or may not be any exchange of energy during a physical change. Terms involved in some physical changes. I'll explain each and every term. You may pause the video and note it down. Dissolving. Solute dissolves in solvent to form a homogeneous mixture called solution. For example, sugar dissolves in water. Freezing. The process in which a substance in a liquid state changes into its solid state on cooling at a particular temperature is called freezing. Freezing point. The temperature at which a liquid starts changing into its solid state at a given pressure is called its freezing point. All pure substances have a definite freezing point. Example, pure water freezes at 0 degree Celsius to form ice. Now, melting. Melting is nothing but a process in which a substance in solid state changes into liquid state at a particular temperature. Melting point of a solid is the temperature at which it starts melting. Solids have definite melting points. For example, melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. Boiling, we all know, the process in which a liquid on heating changes into its vapor state at a particular temperature is called boiling. Then comes boiling point, the temperature at which a liquid starts changing into its vapors on heating at a given pressure is called its boiling point. All pure liquids have a definite boiling point. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Now, evaporation, the process due to which a substance in liquid state changes into its vapor state at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation or vaporization. For example, water from rivers, lakes, ponds change into vapor due to evaporation. Now, next is condensation, the process in which a substance in vapor or gaseous state changes into liquid state is called condensation. And what is condensation point? The temperature at which a gaseous substance starts changing into liquid state is called condensation point. Now this is really important, differences between evaporation and boiling. Evaporation is a slow process, boiling is a fast process. Evaporation takes place from the surface of the liquid. Boiling takes place from all parts of the liquid. Evaporation takes place at all temperatures below its boiling point. Boiling takes place at a fixed temperature on heating. So, evaporation is a slow process which occurs at all temperatures. Wet clothes dry up due to slow evaporation of water from the surface of those clothes. Now, this rate of evaporation depends upon the nature of the liquid, surface area, temperature, humidity. Why it depends on nature of liquids? Some liquids evaporate faster, like nail polish remover, alcohol, while some evaporate slowly like water. In the second point, I have mentioned that evaporation takes place from the surface of the liquid. If surface area of the liquid increases, evaporation also increases. For example, if water collected on small part of the floor is spread over the whole floor, it dries up quickly. Evaporation also increases with increase in temperature. You have noticed that wet clothes dry faster during summer due to high temperature. Humidity, it is the amount of water vapor present in air. If humidity of air is high, evaporation is slow. And if air is dry, that is there is less water content or with less water vapor, evaporation is fast. So, in rainy season, when there is high humidity, clothes take time in drying. But during summer, humidity is less and due to high temperature, wet clothes dry faster. Chemical change is a permanent change in which new substance is or are formed whose chemical composition and physical and chemical properties are completely different from those of the original substance or substances. Chemical change is irreversible. We have seen that when food is being cooked from raw grains or raw vegetables, the cooked food is completely different from the raw grains and vegetables. Cooking requires heat energy which is supplied by stove or cooking gas. So, can we get back the raw grain and vegetables from this cooked food? No, because the composition of the raw substances change due to heat used for cooking and new substances are formed. Once an egg is fried, it cannot be changed back to the raw egg. Cooking of food is a chemical change because after cooking, the raw ingredients cannot be regained again. This shows that the change is permanent and irreversible. So, a change with which you are quite familiar is the rusting of iron. If you leave a piece of iron in the open for some time, it acquires a film of brownish substance. This substance is called rust and the process is called rusting. Iron gates of parks or farmlands or iron benches kept in lawns, gardens, kept every article of iron kept in the open gets rusted. Rust is not iron, don't get confused between iron and rust. It is different from iron on which it gets deposited. In this kind of change, iron articles get affected slowly and gets destroyed. Now, iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, truck, many other articles. So, the monetary loss due to rusting is huge. The process of rusting can be represented by the following equation. Iron plus oxygen, which is present in the air, plus water forms rust, which is iron oxide Fe2O3. So, the most important line is, for rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water is essential. Basically, moist air is required. In fact, if the content of moisture in air is high, it is more humid, rusting becomes faster. So, is there any way to prevent this rusting? Prevent iron articles from coming in contact with oxygen or water or both. One simple way is to apply a coat of paint or grease. In fact, these coats should be applied regularly to prevent rusting. Another way is to deposit a layer of a metal like chromium or zinc on iron. This process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. The iron pipes which we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. You know that ships are made of iron and a part of them remains underwater. On the part above water also, water drops keep clinging to the ship's outer surface. Moreover, the water of the sea contains many salts. Salt water makes the process of rust formation faster. Therefore, ships suffer a lot of damage from rusting in spite of being painted. And stainless steel, it is made by mixing iron with carbon and metals like chromium, nickel and manganese. It does not rust. Now let us understand chemical change with the help of this experiment. Take a piece of magnesium ribbon and burn it over a flame. This magnesium burns with a brilliant white light. You will notice a white powdery ash left behind when the magnesium ribbon is completely burnt. Now this change can be represented by the following equation: magnesium plus oxygen forming magnesium oxide. Now if we collect the ash and mix it with a small amount of water and stir the mixture well and test it with blue and red litmus paper, what will we observe? We will observe that this mixture turns red litmus into blue, while blue litmus paper does not change the color. You can conclude that magnesium on burning in air forms a new product MgO. The change proceeds with the evolution of heat and light. The change is permanent and irreversible. MgO, when it reacts with water, forms magnesium hydroxide MgOH whole twice, which is basic in nature. That is why it turns red litmus paper blue. Now another example of a chemical change. We will understand this also with the help of an experiment. Take about a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. You would hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of a gas coming out. Pass this gas through freshly prepared lime water. Now what happens to the lime water? The change in the test tube is as follows: vinegar plus baking soda forming carbon dioxide and other substance. So this carbon dioxide is the gas which is coming out. Now when this gas, this carbon dioxide, is passed through lime water, then the reaction is as follows: carbon dioxide plus lime water, which is calcium hydroxide, forms calcium carbonate CaCO3 plus water. When carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed, which makes lime water milky. The turning of lime water into milky is a standard test of carbon dioxide. So how will you know that a chemical change has taken place? Chemical change is usually accompanied by change in color. Ripening of fruit is a chemical change. The color of, say, a mango changes on ripening. Evolution of a gas. Reaction of a metal like zinc with dilute hydrochloric acid is a chemical change, because a salt called zinc chloride is formed and a gas called hydrogen is evolved. Release or absorption of energy in the form of heat, light and sound. Burning of a cracker is a chemical change. When a cracker explodes, it produces heat and light energy, and sound is also heard. Hence, energy change is involved in chemical changes. So, if you are asked to write what are the characteristics of a chemical change, you will have to mention that the change is permanent and it cannot be reversed. One or more new substances are formed. Composition and properties of the original substance changes. There is an exchange of energy during a chemical change. This means heat or light or both might be given out or consumed. A chemical change is generally called a chemical reaction. The original substance is called the reactant and the new substance formed is called the product. Now, an example of simultaneous physical and chemical change. When a candle is lit, the wax melts and turns into liquid state. As some of the molten wax drops on the floor or table, it solidifies again. Therefore, this is a physical change. Simultaneously, most of the molten wax rises up the wick, turns into vapor and burns with the flame. Two new substances are formed: water vapor and carbon dioxide. The candle becomes smaller and smaller. This is a chemical change. Thus, we see that the melting of wax is a physical change and the burning of candle is a chemical change. So, what is burning? Burning is a chemical change in which a substance reacts with oxygen or air to produce a new substance called oxide. With the evolution of energy, in the form of heat and light. Example, burning of candle. Importance of chemical changes. Various types of chemical changes take place in our daily life. Some are natural while some are man-made. Most of them are useful to us. Some are listed below. Soaps, detergents, paints, fertilizers, medicines, all are produced due to chemical changes. Then various life processes like taking place in plants and animals are all chemical changes which help to sustain life. For example, digestion of food is a process which makes our food simple by action of enzymes to be absorbed in our body. Then respiration is a chemical process that takes place in all living beings. Then many useful metals like iron, aluminium, copper are extracted from their combined states or ores by various chemical processes. Then raw grains cannot be eaten, but when they change chemically on cooking, they become edible. Hope you have liked the video. In the next video, I will be discussing questions related to this chapter. So stay tuned and till then take care. Bye bye.